Today's episode is presented by MusicBed and StoryMix Media. Hello and welcome to this week's episode of the How to Film Weddings podcast. My name is Nick Miller. I'm over there with finger guns ablazing, Mr. John Bunn. You have to watch on YouTube to see that. John, how are you doing today?
That made me think of something. I'm doing really well. Fourth grade Pee Wee football, Chelsea, Oklahoma, 1995. Taking you back real quick.
Taking me back.
Or basketball, I'm sorry, not football. My dad wrote a little piece for the Chelsea Reporter newspaper every week about the ABC Club Basketball League, which was a better Chelsea. Okay? You follow me? Anyway, he would write little articles about each of the kids and gave them nicknames. And my nickname was John the Stun Gun Bunn. I had forgotten all about that, but he would write things like, John the Stun Gun Bunn made 3 3-pointers to help the whatever team on to victory. And I just...
Here's the question I have about that. Here's the question. Did John Bunn have any contribution to that nickname, or was your dad just like, what rhymes with Bunn that's appropriate? Stun, run, John, stun gun.
He made it all up. It made me feel very special, but when you said guns ablazing, it reminded me of my fourth grade nickname, John the Stun Gun Bunn. I was on the same team with Anthony Long Toss Moss. It was crazy. Okay, we could go off for a while on that.
What does that mean? He was Long Toss Moss.
He made 3-pointers. He could make threes.
You don't toss a basketball, you shoot it.
These things don't make sense. Moss. It rhymed with... Anyway, Nick,
okay.
Today is going to be a very fun episode.
I think so.
Before we get into it, I have to mention our good buddies, our good friends over at MusicBed. I just put together yet another video for our YouTube page over on How to Film Weddings. Was able to... this is what I wanted to do. I wanted to find a song that was similar to I'm Too Sexy for My Shirt. Do you know the song? I'm Too Sexy for... Okay, right. They wrote it about us. Anyway, there was the part of this behind the scenes video that I really wanted. It's me being a goofball trying to pretend to be sexy. And I wanted a song like that song. So I used their new AI feature. I typed in I'm Too Sexy for My Shirt, picked the song, hit submit, and in 2 seconds, there was like 40 songs that were very similar to I'm Too Sexy for My Shirt. And if you tune into our YouTube channel soon, you'll be able to see this clip of me cutting 5 or 6 shots of myself to a song that makes me feel like I'm too sexy for my shirt. But that's just the power. Imagine if you have a wedding film. If you had a wedding film and you're like, ooh, I really like this Coldplay song. The couple really loves this song by Lainey or whoever. You just type in that name, you hit submit, and it gives you just... It's the power of AI. So check out howtofilmweddings.com/musicbed. They've got some free trial stuff going on. They've got some promo code stuff. It's honestly the best place to license music. If you haven't checked it out, howtofilmweddings.com/musicbed. I'm fired up, Nick, because today is a fun episode. Anything you want to add?
Today is a fun episode. Yes. You said some free trial stuff at MusicBed. There's a 14-day free trial. So that's 2 weeks. And I believe that they're even giving you 3 songs that you can license in your films totally for free if you sign up for that free trial. So that is a cool thing. So a few weeks ago, one of the things that John did was he was using Instagram. You know, we've been talking about Instagram a lot recently here on the How to Film Weddings podcast. And so he did something that I thought was really clever, where he just asked, what are some wedding video trends that are on the way out? And he just had the question box and let people submit their answers. And we got lots of fun responses from people kind of going the whole gamut of things, some stuff that we actually think is plausible, and then some stuff that may or may not be, I don't know. But then I think this is a really good strategy to engage with your audience and help maybe grow and promote yourself a little bit. You ask a question, someone responds, but then you share their answer with another way for people to respond. So it's kind of like you're double dipping in this interaction with your potential audience. And I think this is a great way you're incepting your audience. And I think it's a great way to potentially grow your community. So if you are looking for ways that you can interact with your audience that you have on Instagram, that might be a great way. Ask a question, post a response, and then get a response from, anyway, you know what I'm saying. But what I wanted to do today is I wanted to take some of these things that people said, wedding video trends that are on the way out. I am going to read them aloud, and then John and I are going to react to what those people said. Did I say that right?
You did. I just realized, though, that what you are doing now with this podcast episode is you're using the content that we shared and reshared to create more content to share and reshare. You are incepting your inception idea.
It's why I don't sleep on planes, because I don't want to get incepted.
Exactly. Okay. All right. Back to you. Over to you.
Okay. So wedding video trends that are on the way out. Here's the first one, John. Highlight films.
Okay.
You asked the question, what are they? And that's what one person responded and said, highlight films, highlight videos. So that's going to be the 4 to 8 minute thing that is so many of our bread and butter.
Yeah. So I saw this answer, highlight videos. I mean, that is bread and butter for a lot of us. I don't see that going out for a while. I do see a lot more people wanting longer videos, less produced videos. I've seen a lot of wedding planners and designers saying trends for 2024 would be less epic wedding films and more true wedding films, like a little more on the longer side, a little more on the just like documentary side. So I could see these going. I mean, I could see them going out. I don't think they're going to go out, but I could see them being way less valuable. And I'm on the side that wants something. I was with Blake in Georgia, and I forget who he referenced, but he was saying that he had heard someone say that if you were making a wedding film and you knew the only people that were going to see it were the couple and their family, what would you make? And it was just like, that's what I think that when I think of highlight films, and I think it's a great way. The world's so big, people are still going to love highlight videos and want them forever. But I do think that a lot of like the higher end couples don't want what everybody else is getting, and they want something that's more of a documenting of like an experience or a weekend or a more true to life and less like epic. That's my thoughts. What do you think about highlight videos going out?
No, I don't think they're going anywhere. Like I really don't. I mean, yes, I think they're going to morph into something maybe a little bit different. Whenever John, I might be a trendsetter here. Whenever I first started doing this, I offered as a part of all of my collections a 2-minute film and a 10-minute film. And now here we're sitting in 2024 and moving on into 2025. I wonder if that's going to be more of the standard. People might not want highlight films in the sense of like music videos, 3 minutes, 4 minutes, 5 minutes, that kind of thing. But I do think that maybe our definition of a highlight video is going to change, and it's going to be more longer form that we think, 10 to 15 minutes. But then I think those teasers are not going to go anywhere. So maybe in 2014, Nick offering a 2-minute and a 10-minute film was a trendsetter for 2024 and 25. Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. No, I mean, we had nearly 200 people vote on that one, and I feel like it was pretty split. What do you think? If you're listening, are highlight videos out? I don't know. Okay. Moving on to the next question. Our next person commented, Nick, I'd love to get your feedback. They commented on wedding video trends that are on the way out. 1 camera setups. Thoughts?
Yeah, I would hope that this is on the way. Like, I don't know many people that just show up with 1 camera. whenever it comes to a wedding. If you're a 100% solo shooter, I think even most people that are 100% solo shooters, at least set up another camera for ceremonies and toasts and like those kind of things. But if you're solely one person, I just think you're looking for disaster in yourself. If you only have one camera, we saw, someone posted in our Facebook group the other day, they had their camera set up and a photographer walked right down the middle of the aisle and blocked their shot and that kind of stuff. If you only have one camera, then you are setting yourself up for situations like that. So, I think that people are bringing at least 2, if not 3 to their weddings, even if they're solo shooters.
Yeah, and I think just like the whole idea of I only have one camera, I'm packing light. That whole idea with cameras being so portable and affordable, like having a second camera with you is a must. Like you can't just show up to a wedding with one camera. What happens if your camera goes bad? Like you got to have a backup camera anyway. You might as well have that second one up on a tall tripod or something during the ceremony. I don't think it's wrong to have one on a tripod and roam around during a ceremony with the second one and mainly only use the footage that you get from one camera. I love the mobility of that, but I just think that it's irresponsible in 2024 to not have a backup camera and to use it at least during the ceremony and maybe set it on a gimbal for some wide angles of first looks or things or whatever if you're solo shooting. But I am a fan of less gear personally. Like I want all of my gear to fit in a backpack. I don't personally want a massive production, but I also see that trend. We'll talk about that later. Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. The next one, music or videos with only music. It's a trend that's going. And I would say that this was maybe a hot button issue in like 2017 ish. Like that this started dying down, but I don't know many people, unless you're like just getting started, that are offering only music video highlight films.
It's out. Things are too cheap. Things are too cheap to have a little Sony TX660 or a little DJI mic or a little Tascam. It's a wedding. I just can't imagine it not being worth it. I mean, if that's your vibe, go for it. But definitely the trend for wedding films, when I'm thinking about what are brides looking for, what are grooms, what are planners, they're not looking for video with only music. They're not looking for just one camera setups, those kinds of things. So videos with only music, I'm saying, are out. Nick, the next one is one that has become controversial, and I feel a little attacked on this one. This one is hanging dress shots. What are your thoughts?
I hope that this is on the way out. I want it to be on the way out. For what we do as videographers, I don't think that the hanging dress shot matters, and I want to get rid of it. If I'm going to shoot the dress, I want to shoot it on the bride. I don't want to put it on a hanger and or lay it on the bed or whatever. I hope they're out. I hope they're done.
I've spent so much effort hanging dresses in trees in my life. And man, in the early 2000s, like you had to get the hanging tree dress shot. Here's the thing. I like filming a beautiful dress on a hanger in a spot that's beautiful. Do I have to film it? No. But I do love details from a wedding, and I think that a quick shot of I love getting details of the dress before it is on the bride and showing it while it's on the bride. So to me, I like putting together little highlight clips that have stationery and details and shoes and fashion, and I think my clients like seeing what that dress looks like, not on the bride as well as on the bride. And so to me, I don't want it to go out. You can call me old school. I mean, I'm almost 40, and I get it why some people hate it. And if it doesn't fit your vibe, but a lot of shade being thrown at people for filming the dress. Now, just doing it because the photographer's doing it, or filming it in a way that's just like, well, whatever the photographer gives me. I don't want to do that. But like I was at a wedding the other day, the dress was hung in a beautiful like spot near a ballroom at a country club, and it just looked beautiful and I wanted to film it. I got up close, I got some tight details without it being weird. I'm not going to be filming like the tight details of like the bust of a dress when it's on the bride. That's uncomfortable. Like I'm not going to be filming boobs. I want to film the dress. I want to get details. Like, so I want to see things. It's like, how creepy is it if John, the videographer's like, just hold still. I want to get a shot of your chest. Like, no thanks. So to me, hanging dress shots, I hope they stay in. I just think that people need to iterate and be careful and be creative. Like stationary footage was so boring for a long time. And then I remember Kaylin with White and Reverie was like, well, this is how we add movement to it and how we will drop flowers on it while we're getting, like, it's beautiful details that luxury and higher end clients want. And so just know your market, know who you're aiming for, and the things that you like. What do you like shooting? Do you like shooting it? Do you want to? If not, get it out of there. But I enjoy it. I'm not going to lie. So,
okay.
I don't know.
Okay. Now, don't get me wrong. If it's there and it's hanging and we're in the room, I'm going to film it to have it. But if it were ultimately up to me, I probably wouldn't do it. John, I do want to mention really quick before we move on, we have right now over at howtofilmweddings.com/Instagram, we have 10 Instagram prompts or hooks that can help you grow your account. So if you hadn't downloaded that, head over to howtofilmweddings.com/Instagram. John, here is one that I think is potentially another really hot button issue, hot topic. This is trends that are on the way out, overposing, or even posing, period. More couples are going to want to be left alone and enjoy their day with their families. Go.
I like it. I am here for it. I do think most couples want pictures of just the two of them. But to me, I hate whenever there's a photographer that's like got his hand or her hand up on the bride's face. It's like, turn your chin this way, turn. Like I've been around long enough where it's just like photographers were bringing massive blankets and laying them out. So the reflections and reflectors and a team of 10, and it's all about like a 2-hour posing session. And it, like, to me, my hot take is it's like, if the couple wants it, great. But I would rather have 10 minutes of time with the couple and just say, hey, you guys go be comfortable over there, snuggle with each other, walk that way, walk back, every few steps, give her a hug or a kiss. But like, I want time with the couple, but I don't know if I want them to be posed or overposed. Like, I'm not the guy that wants all these trendy things in my films. And I just have seen specific poses or things happen in the industry and then everybody copies them. I just say be creative yourself and try to capture the couple based on them, their personalities, and stop trying to freaking make it a styled shoot for you and your brand. Like, understand who your client is and then serve them. Whew, I'm going to make some people mad. Do not DM me.
No, please DM him. I want to read those. But actually, I don't think that there is a problem necessarily with posing or posing, period. Overposing, definitely, like, stand, move your head, that kind of stuff. That doesn't work really great with video anyway. But what I will say is, I think should be hopefully on the way out is 30-minute plus couple sessions on the wedding day. I think that the direction that we're going is people want to they invited their people to to their wedding for a reason. They want to go to cocktail hour. They want to hang out with them. They want to see them. And so I think that we're going to start dawning on an age where it's like, okay, you have 15 minutes. You have maybe 20 minutes max, and like minimizing that time. So we as videographers need to become way more comfortable with being quick and being posy and getting the stuff that we are going, so that the couples can enjoy their family. Like, that should be a part of their wedding day, is enjoying the day with them. So that's my take on that.
Yeah, and it could be different for each person. Some of the couples might want more of that, but I think that as a trend, couples are seeing that, like, oh, I am spending all this money. I want to be with my people, and we have to adapt as wedding filmmakers.
Definitely. This one was submitted on the way out. Big production teams with a lot of equipment and a lot of people.
I think it's in. I do too. I think that, and I've said this a lot, it's not my style. And I personally, if I were getting married again, would hate if there was a big production at my wedding. And I think that there's a massive market for people that do not want a big production. But I do think that there is also a massive market of people that do want it to feel like a film set. They want the attention. They want the end product with bigger production is awesome. Like you get all these extra interviews, all this extra audio, better lighting, better everything on the film. It looks better. To me, I don't want to personally offer that. I want all my stuff to fit in a backpack. I want to make a small footprint, but I do not think it's a bad idea to have big production. I think your couples need to know that you're bringing a lot, and that is a really good differentiator for you to build your brand. If you're a gearhead, you love doing all that stuff. Like I do not care about that kind of stuff at all, and I think it's great that people do. Nick, what are your thoughts?
Yeah. I don't think it's going anywhere, and especially in the higher budget weddings where they're spending $500,000 on floral alone, like people that are spending a lot of money, like crazy, that's going to be the luxury stuff. But if you talk to a lot of more of the luxury end of thing, they are bringing 2 shooters, 3 shooters, and an assistant. Like they're bringing more people because whenever you spend more money, they're wanting you to capture more stuff, and so they want it to be more of a production. And so I don't think that it's necessarily on the way out at all. I think that filmmakers are wising up and not bringing as much equipment for the most part. Or they are bringing a lot of equipment, but now just the footprint of all of that equipment is a lot smaller with the advent of mirrorless cameras and how gimbals have gotten smaller, and we're not taking sliders anymore, and all that kind of thing. I think that people are maybe minimizing their gear some, but I don't think that big production groups or teams of 3, 4, 5 are going away anytime
I think
soon.
That's trending way up. I think that a lot more people are doing it. Okay, the next one, Nick, I'm excited to hear your take on this first. Wedding video trends that are on the way out. Somebody commented the word gimbals. Mm-hmm. What do you think?
Personally, yes. I don't use a gimbal very much. Actually, the last wedding that I shot, my gimbal just died. And so, that was fun. I probably for the last 4 years, 5 years, I've been very minimal in the amount of use I am using with a gimbal. So for me, in the style that I like to do, gimbals are definitely on the way out. And for me, kind of have been out. But again, it depends on your style of filmmaking and where you are and what you are doing. So for me, I can get on the board, especially with the invent of, image stabilization within cameras and stuff. It's not as necessary today as it was a couple years ago. But my thought is yes for how I work. Now, John, how do you feel about gimbals?
I think gimbals are on the way back in big time. I have seen, when we started How to Film Weddings, the trend that we had seen amongst the majority of wedding filmmakers was more of a shaky camera, fast paced, like all these crazy edits and stuff like that. And as we talked about earlier, I think people want more beauty and are wanting something more timeless. And again, we're talking about a world that has 7 billion people. So there's always going to be room for all different sides. But like as a trend, or what wedding filmmakers, wedding videographer trends, I see more and more people saying, you know what, I'm going to use a gimbal all day long. I'm going to get those movements that I want, to get that luxurious look or that higher end look. Yeah, you can do that handheld, but being on a gimbal all day, you're just going to get way prettier footage that has that look, that cinematic look. So I feel like gimbals are back on the way in. Especially with the image stabilization that we have and stuff, and the weight of the cameras. You might be someone crazy like Lindsey Conklin with the Rev Films that's like got a big C1200 on there all day long or something. But I can see a lot of us with a 24 prime or a 24 to 70 or the new whatever 22 to whatever lens that just came out for Sony on a gimbal all day long, and like that just being a new trend. And it's honestly, I'm starting to put more into being on the gimbal more during the day as I'm climbing towards a $25,000 plus clientele. So I think it depends on what your goal is, but I now in 2024 see as a trend, most wedding filmmakers, like this whole buzz around the luxury market and, all these things. I think that a lot of people are saying this is the direction I want to go. That's what's cool right now. And in a few years, probably something else will be cool. And I'm just going to stick in my lane of doing what I do. So if it's not cool in a few years and everybody's like, I don't want to do weddings like this, because that changes as trends change. And so gimbals in. All right. Next one, Nick.
Yeah.
Doc edits.
Doc edits. On the way out. Man, I'm not sure. I think that the value of doc edits is going to continue to rise. The perceived value. I think that filmmakers don't like making them. I think that we don't like putting them together. Therefore, we are not offering them as much, or the price tag is really high on them so that people don't purchase them. And so they might be on the way out from a consumer standpoint. But I think that we as the filmmaker are setting those standards, not our clients that are setting those standards. And so I think they might be on the way out, but I don't necessarily think that it is because clients don't want them. I think it's because filmmakers find them boring. They're repetitive. It's just a ceremony with 3 angles and I cut back and forth. It's not fulfilling from a editing standpoint. So I think that's my thought on that. What do you think?
I feel like doc edit values are going to go through the roof in the next few years.
Yes.
And so I think it's a trend that is, if you're smart, you will jump on that trend. Think about it. I was talking to a friend yesterday and his kids are 17 and 14. And he was saying, my 17-year-old found a typewriter at an estate sale and had to have it. He wanted it. He's never physically typed on something and it happened. It's always been a digital, and he has gotten approval from his school to typewrite out his papers and turn them in instead of using digital. And he said his 14-year-old, everyone has a phone, and that both of them, the 14 and the 17-year-old, are like, I don't even want a phone anymore. Like, I'm tired of the whole digital. I want analog. I just want the real. And I'm saying all that to say is I feel like, especially in the next few years, these kids that are 17 and 18, in 4 and 5 years, they're going to be getting married, a lot of them. And I think trending towards wanting just real, everyone wants content, everyone wants footage of that. They just want real footage of their event edited together. They want their raw footage. They want all that stuff so they can just have it. They're seeing the importance of it. They're not excited. You look at Instagram or TikTok or whatever, the stuff that's performing the best is not, highly produced. It is just standard, it's just footage. It's just, and that's why I think doc edit values are going to go up. I would hop on that trend. I would actually create content around why you want everybody to have doc edits, and I would hire Wedditor or Wedding Post House or Bride and Groom or someone to do your doc edits for you if you hate them. But man, what a great opportunity to give people those memories. That's my thought.
Yeah. Again, I see that it is a trend that filmmakers want to go down, but I think our couples are going to want that if it is offered to them. Okay, John, I know we're running out of time, so we're going to run through the last few of these really, really quick. Hot take, on the way out, on the way up, what do you think? First looks.
I see less and less people doing them. I think that they're trending down. I like them. I think that it actually helps a couple enjoy their day more, but I also like the genuine reaction that you get whenever. So I think that first looks are on the way down. What about you?
I do too. Most of the couples that are reaching out to me that I'm having consults with are saying, we're going to do traditional, see each other down the aisle. So I think that that's a trend that is coming back. Next one, John, titles at the beginning of films in trendy fonts with the couple name, or just, putting couples names, or your film company, a Wild Oak film or something like that at the beginning of a film. What's your thought on that?
I think that I don't see them going out. I think that they are real trendy. For me, I put the couples names on a lot of the films. I feel like it's still on the way in. I think that this is going to be a couple of years of like people figuring out even better ways to get like titles and stuff on the videos.
I think with this one, I don't think it's trending down or going away. But what I do think is that if you are more in that cinematic movie type feel, that helps convey that message, is having those titles, because it makes it feel more like a movie, right? And so as long as people are trying to do those, create content that is more movie-like, that they're not going anywhere. Okay, last one, and then I know we need to hop off of here. Trend that's going away: speeches on the wedding day, and instead happening during the rehearsal.
100%. I see this so much, and it's a huge opportunity for us to sell 2-day packages instead of one. And I sell it as your people that are giving speeches, you want those to happen in a more intimate setting. You don't want them in front of 300 people instead of 50 people or what. And so 1,000,000%, I feel like speeches on the wedding day, maybe like a welcome toast or like a best man and maid of honor on the wedding day. But I'm seeing the trend of speeches being 7 or 8 speeches at the most, kind of on a rehearsal dinner day.
Yeah, I definitely see that this happens more and more. People are starting to do the toasts or the more emotional stuff, or the stuff that's more personal on the rehearsal dinner, because it's more of an intimate setting, and then even having 1 or 2 or less on the wedding day. And so if toasts are something that you really want to incorporate in your films, I would highly, highly recommend reaching out to your couples and maybe selling more time with them and more coverage with that on the wedding day. So as we are wrapping up today's episode, there are some wedding video trends that are on the way out, at least to the people that submitted them. What do you think there, listening audience? What are some things that you are seeing that you are seeing on the way out, or maybe you just deep down hope are on the way out? Thanks again to our friends over at Music Bed and Story Mix Media for sponsoring this episode of the podcast. If you haven't yet, head over to howtofilmweddings.com/Instagram and download our 10 Instagram prompts to help you grow your Instagram account. John, as always, it has been a pleasure to hang out with you. Thanks for tuning in, listeners, and until next time, we will see ya.
See ya.